Hey, what's up? This is Matty from Memphis May Fire, and this is For Those About to Rock.
Hello guys, this is Aaron from For Those About to Rock, and I'm sitting down with Matty from Memphis May Fire. Hi Matty, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, last show. Thanks for taking the time, man. Yeah. On your last show, I mean, I could think of better things before going home, right?
I love doing interviews. I get that question all the time. People are like, "Are you upset about this?" I'm like, "No, I love being here, man." It's like I appreciate opportunities to talk about what we're doing, you know?
Okay, great. What will be the first thing coming home after being reunited with your family?
Christmas.
Yeah,
Christmas. So we get home just a few days later. There's Christmas, and then the band starts working on a new record.
Already that early?
Yeah.
Not like after Sylvester, after New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
next year?
We're gonna start diving right into a new record. Probably New Year's Eve-ish, but January 1, something like that, we'll dive right in.
That's like busy. 2019 is coming to a close. Let's take a look back on the year. What were your greatest moments on and off stage? Probably also funniest moments or weirdest moments?
Man, honestly, I feel like some of the greatest moments of the year have been on this tour over here. We had an incredible show in London, an incredible show in Hamburg. They were all good, but those really stood out a lot. We did a summer tour in America with Sum 41 and Circa Survive and The Used and Atreyu and like a bunch of iconic bands, which was really cool. So that was awesome. And yeah, I think that was pretty much it.
Let's talk a bit about your latest record, Broken. It's a little more than a year ago that you released it, right? And it's about like your life's journey, really personal lyrics and emotional hardships as well. The song that probably resonated the most with me is Heavy's the Weight. And what I was asking is, like, you talk about the toll that constant touring is taking on you and as a musician, and you read a lot and hear a lot about deaths and suicides, especially in the music scene. Is it like, is mental health a special issue in the music scene? What would you say? What's your take on that?
Yeah, especially for me, you know, with my own personal struggles with anxiety and depression, and all the healing that I've found through doing therapy. It's something that I'm never afraid to talk about. I think that it's so important that if we have a platform at all, and if we understand anything about mental health, then it's our job to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And so I try to make it a point to talk about it as much as I can. I think that the stigma of people struggling with mental health only being like a Hollywood thing for crazy people, right? Yeah. Is coming to an end. And I think that everyone you know is struggling with something, and everybody needs to know that they're not alone.
But you wouldn't say that this is I don't know, the weight is especially heavy in the music scene, or the pressure is especially high?
Yeah, of course it is, man. I mean, I think artists in general, or anybody that really enjoys art, I think that we see things differently and that we experience things differently. And oftentimes I think that can mean feeling pain more deeply, you know? And when people live with that, I think that music can be an incredible outlet to express those emotions, to release those emotions. And so that's one of the things that I'm most thankful for about being a musician and being a part of what I do, is that we get to write songs that are about us, but ultimately they become about other people's lives, and other people use them as anthems for being able to say things that they've felt but never been able to put into words, you know? So yeah, absolutely.
Strangely enough, it's quite often that you listen like sad music when you're sad, but in this moment the sad music is like healing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the thing, is like everybody just we all want to feel like we're not alone. So when you listen to sad music, when you're sad, it's because you want to feel like someone else can relate to what you're going through. And I think that's the human condition. We all just want to feel like somebody understands. And as musicians, we get the opportunity to write music that gives people that hope.
That's great. Let's stick with the album. Broken is like your first, let's say, rock album, right?
Yeah.
And that was totally new path. Did you experience any backlash from the scene, from fans?
A lot of backlash, yeah. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, of course. I don't think people expected it, you know? Yeah. We went into it with the mindset that we were like, we've always wanted to make a rock record, let's make a rock record. And even though in our mind, it's like, this is just one part of a timeline, it's like to listeners sometimes they can feel like the whole world has changed. You know, they're like, oh my gosh, everything about you is different. And we're like, no, I mean, like, we're still the band that wrote all the songs that you love that we wrote. We just, you know, like, we wanted to do something different. And so our core fan base has stuck through it with us, which has been amazing. Like, just watching people like adapt and appreciate the record for what it is. And I think it was a season of learning for us as well. It's like, this is what we're capable of, and we're so thankful that we have the opportunity to do this, and we also have our roots, and I think that we can do both simultaneously. And so the next record, I think, will be a really beautiful mixture of both. Okay,
that's kind of my next question. How important is it to like broaden the horizon of listeners, like to say, hey, listen or look, there's more out there, and kind of like, I don't want to say force feeding, but showing them new things, new ways, new music, other than compared to like meeting the expectations every time.
Totally. I think you're never going to make everybody happy. Like, people are either going to say like, oh, this is nothing like what you used to be like, or they're going to say, this sounds just like your last record. You know what I mean? It's like people are going to complain regardless, and that's okay, because the people that are being hateful or are being condescending on the internet are people that we never wanted in our fan base in the first place. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think that if people are willing to listen to all different types of genres and get interested in all different types of albums and appreciate every band's, every album that they put out, it really does enrich your life. It makes your life better. I think it makes you understand things and see things differently and with a broader horizon. And I think all of that is a huge part of growth. And there's some people that only want things like one specific way, and that's okay too, if that's how you want to live. You know what I mean? But we are always changing, we're always evolving, we're always growing, and there's nothing that's going to stop that.
Yeah, and I mean, at some point, in my opinion, at a certain point of your musical experience, you should recognize that if you don't like something, it's not shit, it's not bad.
Yeah, totally.
Per se, it's just not for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a handful of things musically that are not for me, and that our last record might not have been for everybody. The Hollow might not have been for everybody. Challenger might not have been for everybody. But these records are for specific groups of people that do love it and do appreciate it. And with this record, we were able to reach a whole new fan base with American radio, which was huge for us. So we definitely accomplished what we set out to accomplish, and we're so proud of it. And at the same time, really looking forward to what's next.
Great. In a recent interview that I saw, you said that one thing you learned on this tour cycle with the new album was that you don't need, or it's not necessary for you guys to involve more people into songwriting. Does it mean that, you work with Kay and Jerko on Broken. Will you go back to like writing with Kellen alone? Just the two of you, or just...
Not necessarily. What I mean by that statement is that we don't have to believe everything that everyone is saying about us. You know what I mean? It's like if someone's like, it was better this way, or you should do this way, or you should change this way, we don't have to let that affect us, And I think with this record, there's a handful of songs that we were affected in that way, and I think that we'll write with different people and we'll enjoy that process. But at the end of the day, like, what Kellen and I think needs to be the final product is what will be the final product. Because that's how Memphis May Fire started, and that's how our fan base got to love us and know us. And I think that's how it should be.
Okay. Having been with Memphis May Fire for over 10 years now, you did a lot of interviews, obviously. You said you like doing interviews. What was I'm always trying to ask interesting questions, but what was the dumbest or weirdest question you ever got?
Man, I don't know.
One band told me, like, what pencil are you, or what color of pencil are you? They got that as a question.
I mean, we did some interviews back in the day with, like, you know, sometimes kids with iPhones just show up to do press and stuff like that. And I mean, you know, and that's awesome because they deserve their shot too. You know what I mean? But I think some people come not prepared, you know? And so it's always funny when you can tell, like, an interviewer is, like, trying to figure out what their next question is before they ask it. You know what I mean? It's like they don't come prepared. They don't know what they're talking about. And they come up and they're like, okay, what about this? And they're like,
Or standard question, can you explain your genre? Or can you explain your band name?
Yeah, what does your band name mean?
There's
like
something
that,
called Wikipedia.
yeah, we get it all the time.
Is the album concept that you said that in a couple of interviews, like you will release song after song, but like the concept of releasing 10 songs probably is old?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that albums are dead. You know, no one's buying physical copies anymore unless it's like vinyl, you know, and why should we expect them to? You know, the way that people are consuming music now is through playlists, through singles. You know, people want new things all the time.
You can't force them, right?
Yeah, we can't expect people to buy an album and study all 10 to 15 songs or whatever and get to know it and love it. And, you know, that's just not the way that music works anymore. And so I think that music should be given in the way that it's consumed. And so instead of us like putting out a bunch of songs at once and expecting everybody to pay attention to all of it, I think that we'll just put out singles, you know. That's at least what I would like to do. You never know how it's actually going to happen, but I think that that's the way that music is being consumed, and that's the way that we should deliver it, you know.
Yeah, it's hard. Some fans still expect like to have like an LP, to have like 10 songs and something to put in their shelves, right?
And I think that, you know, when we get to the point where we've released 10 or 12 singles or whatever, we can package it as an album and give it to the people that want it that way. But putting it out that way up front and expecting people to consume it that way is dated, you know?
Okay. Let's round up the interview. Describe a couple of funny ones. Describe your band members with one word.
Band members with one word?
Each one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Kellen is specific.
Okay.
Corey is uncontrolled.
Okay.
Jake is free-spirited. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Okay,
and
cool.
I am redhead.
From Ginger to Ginger.
Yeah.
5 things you know about Austria. It's sometimes a tough one for
I don't know. Bands. When I travel, I think the thing that's most eye-opening to me is that like every city has their things that make it special. Okay. You know, but
Vienna is also great if you know 5 things about Vienna.
It's awesome. But I feel like everywhere that we go, the world is all in some ways the same, you know, like we're all human beings, we're all experiencing life the same way. So oftentimes I focus on what makes us similar rather than what sets us apart, you know. But I don't know, tell me 5 things about Austria that are awesome.
Mozart, for example.
Yeah, awesome.
Falco is also from Austria.
Okay.
Probably know him. Is the biggest pop music artist in Austria, or one of the biggest in Europe also.
What's your guys' big food thing?
Our radio show is from Corinthia. We have like dumplings.
Dumplings,
like
okay.
Noodle, with cheese.
Is there any famous actors or actresses from Austria that have gotten big like in America and Hollywood?
Christoph Waltz.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
he's from Austria.
Awesome.
Yeah, and your last but not least, your main advice for young musicians.
For young musicians, it's gonna feel at times like everyone in the world wants you to fail. And in those moments, that's when you're growing That's when it's your time to shine.
When it hurts the most.
When it hurts, absolutely. I think that when it feels like people are against you, that's when you have an opportunity more than, because if your career is going nowhere, you're not going to hear a lot, right? Like it's going to be kind of like radio silence. But when people start to hate what you do, that's when there's an opportunity for the world to love what you do. So don't stop. No matter what anybody says about you or does to you, or no matter how anybody makes you feel, stay true to who you are. Create for the same reason that you always wanted to create, and give the world something special.
Really inspiring last word.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to tune in every Sunday on Radio Agora 105.5 or agora.at/livestream. All links and info in the description below. Thanks and rock on!